Hello and mahalo as we look at OKO stick counter number 8, last in blue belt, moving on to green. And as we do so, this is going to be a little bit of a different stick counter. Attack's going to be coming on a diagonal with the opponent's right leg forward across his strike line 1 or R line 3, or his line 3, excuse me, R line 4. As he does so, we don't want to get him to apogee. We need to get off the line of the attack. So my left leg is going to be sliding forward. This is coming from 12 o'clock in our green zone. Once again, step towards 10:30, get off the line. Going to parry. And as that is parried, I need to control the weapon. My arm is going to come up, snake around, and to grab my own, controlling the arm and the weapon. I'm going to control release, grab underneath and control the weapon. I'm now going to rotate. I'm going to push with my left, pull with my right, to modify his height and width as I then respond with his own weapon. I'm going to kick, allowing me to step him back. If that doesn't finish him, I'm going to continue with the takedown. Now, in the original video, it shows the going down to a knee for the takedown. In general, I don't like going down to a knee unless I absolutely have to, or unless we're purposely going to the ground. In this particular case, I am going to, once I strip the weapon, strike, kick. I'm going to hook it behind his knee, my left hand right at the iliac crest or just above the belt. I'm going to start the takedown, push and pull once again, and as I start it, then control, release, grab, and I now can get his leg. If this is his leg, I put the stick across his leg. I'm now going to push and pull. And now I'm going to put his foot underneath my right armpit. I brought the stick up to control him. From this point, I can push down with my armpit and pull up with the stick to control his leg. And much like we've seen before, if I want to get to the outside to him or go to the next opponent, I can grab his foot on top and on bottom, counterclockwise, push it in, his hip into his body, to throw the leg over, cross and cover out. Once again, from the front, diagonal stick. Get out of the way of the attack, parry. Going to snake, capture. Go underneath, strip the weapon, modifying him. Once I have the weapon, strike, soften him up, kick. I'm going to hook around, placing my hand at his iliac crest or hip to start the takedown. Modifying his weight to his right foot, grabbing, putting that leg underneath. Rolling him over, responding, cross and cover out. Stay tuned for OKO stick counter number 8, CMP. Hello and mahalo as we look at OKO stick counter number 8, last technique in blue, moving on to green. So once again, this attack is a right diagonal club on their attack line 1 or their line 3 as we might call it. We need to get off the line of the attack. Once we do that, we need to deviate, deflect, control, and disarm the weapon while modifying our opponent's height, width, and depth, giving us time. Once again, this is a stick attack. Knives, clubs, and guns are all weapon attacks that automatically should include deviating, deflecting, controlling, and disarming. Now, once again, getting off the line is going to be an assumed portion of every single knife, club, and gun weapon technique from this point on. Much like you guys are probably sick of hearing it now, modifying our opponent's height, width, and depth gives us time. Now once again, in this technique, we have 3 points of contact as well as a 6-point lock. So as we do this lock, we need to make sure that we're controlling the arm and the weapon at the same time, using our elbows and our hands as points of leverage or fulcrums. We have the push-pull affecting the takedown as I discussed earlier. Now in this push-pull and looking at difference of stability and mobility in our opponent's leg, we need to make sure that we create the correct amount of distance to control our opponent. Now also with the kick leading up to the control, As we talk about the kick, if my finger here is my leg, there are 4 points in a kick. First one is the lifting of the knee, preparing for the kick, what we call the up. There's the out of the, there we go, so you can see in my finger, the out of the foot making contact with weapon. There's the back, coming back to whether you want to call this a flamingo stance, a one-legged stance, a preparatory stance, whatever the name, needs to come back to this, because then I can choose to come another route with a roundhouse or follow up with another kick. And then the down allows us to decide where I want to go in my response. Majority of the time we are going to step down and forward in our response, or step back in clearing. But in this particular case, we are going to step not directly into our opponent, but stepping towards our 130 to allow us to have room to take down the leg and not get kicked by the leg that we're pulling up. Sometimes in watching videos online of this particular counter, I see a lot of students stepping in towards the opponent. They want to close the gap, but they're not leaving room there for their opponent's leg. And a lot of times as they're trying to effect this takedown, the leg kicks them in their leg, or worse yet, traps underneath their legs into their groin. We need to make sure we have enough room to effect the takedown and then follow up. Tons of stuff once again in OKO stick counter number 8. Aloha, mahalo, live pono.